the way in which immigration has become a super salient issue in British politics. And it is salient in Scotland too. One of the things that we see in Scotland is a real hardening of attitudes on immigration over the last 12, 18 months, at least in comparison with previous polling. The paper asked and so on, do you think levels of immigration into Scotland are too high, about right, or too low? And 56% of people said, well, it's too high. And then there was a question about, should people who arrive in the UK without legal authority and permission to do so, without the documentation required, should they be effectively rounded up and deported? And 60% of people in Scotland said yes to that. So the notion that Scottish attitudes on immigration are completely distinct from attitudes elsewhere in the UK, I think is much harder to sustain just now. That is partly, of course, because, attitudes in Scotland, people in Scotland are not actually all that different from people in other parts of the United Kingdom. There are occasional differences on individual policies, particularly membership of the European Union is the obvious one. But overall, as Sir John Curtis has often said, actually, in recent years, and so on, yes, the median voter in Scotland is a little bit to the left of the median voter in England, but it is a difference of degree rather than kind. And of course, opinions in Scotland are informed by the overall UK picture and balance of sentiment. So I'm not particularly surprised by some of these poll findings, but I think one of the things they do is they illustrate the division between what you might call the sort of elite political consensus view of immigration in Scotland, which is that we actually need more of it because we have an aging population, and immigration is actually crucial to economic growth. We need to be able to attract skilled workers from other parts of the world, other parts of the United Kingdom too, if we want to have the kind of economic growth that we need looking forward, not just next year, but 10 years, 20 years from now. But if you like, the plain people of Scotland take a very different view on some of these questions. And so there is quite a gulf between the political consensus on these issues and what, if you like, the fabled hardworking ordinary voter thinks. And that clearly creates an opening for an insurgent party such as Reform